All right, on page 1, we're going to do example 1, sample spaces. Sample spaces are how many outcomes, how many different combinations you can have in your sample. So looking at here, it says you flip a coin and roll a 6-sided die. How many possible outcomes are in the sample space? So this is, again, a reminder, this is all the way to Math 7. So we've got our first options. We can say flip a coin. You can decide to do the 6-sided dice first, but I'm going to first do flip a coin. When I flip a coin, my options are either I get heads or I get tails. And if I just do a sample space, right, for flipping a coin, there are only 2 options. That would be my total sample space. But it's also wanting me to flip a coin and roll a 6-sided dice. So let's say I got a heads. The next time I would roll a dice. And how many sides are on a dice? There are 6. I could roll a 1, a 2, a 3, a 4, a 5, or a 6. Or if I flipped to tails, I could get a 1, a 2, a 3, a 4, a 5, or a 6. Tree diagrams at the end, right, we had heads and tails that we could get. We have 1 through 6, 1 through 6. To get my sample space or how many outcomes I have, you just count the end tails of your tree diagram, essentially the roots. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. My sample space or how many outcomes I have 12 outcomes. How many possible outcomes are in that sample space? There are 12. Some people don't love tree diagrams, so some people like to make a list. Or sometimes they do a table where they say, oh, I could roll a heads and get a 1. I could roll a heads and get a 2. I could roll a heads and get a 3. Or I guess flip a heads. I can flip a heads and get a 4 on a dice. I could do heads and a 5, heads and a 6, tails and a 1, tails and a 2, tails and a 3, tails and a 4, tails and a 5, tails and a 6. And just like the T diagram, all you have to do is count how many outcomes you have because you physically wrote them out. And just like before, there are 12. I know, shocking. So again, our sample space, when we talk about a sample space and outcomes, it's just saying how many combinations can you have.